The Blair Witch Project is one of the most influential horror films ever made, but the stars didn't get rewarded for the movie's success like they should have, and they're finally speaking up about it. In 1996, Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard joined an extremely low-budget indie production that was then titled The Black Hills Project. The concept was simple. The three leads would be filming footage for a fictional horror documentary, playing student filmmakers searching for evidence of a local legend known as the Blair Witch, who vanished without a trace in the Maryland woods. Not only were the three required to sign contracts that would allow filmmakers Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez to use their real names for their respective characters, but the found footage approach also meant that Donahue, Williams, and Leonard had to learn to operate their own cameras and sound equipment throughout the shoot, while improvising the dialogue and most of the plot.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom.
The movie was finally released in 1999, and its massive success surprised just about everyone, including the three stars who were key to bringing the project to life. After 25 years of silence, they're finally talking about how they got the short end of the stick in a Variety interview. For all their efforts in turning the Blair Witch Project into a smash hit, none of the actors were able to enjoy the experience. The secretive marketing that helped make the movie such a breakthrough success in the first place also meant Donahue, Williams, and Leonard had to stay out of the spotlight. To maintain the illusion that the horrific events of the story were real, distributor Artisan Entertainment prevented the actors from doing any sort of publicity prior to the film's theatrical release. Not only were they barred from even attending the Cannes Film Festival premiere later that year, but they were also discouraged from doing interviews hyping up their work, or even booking acting gigs in other movies.
You must be in a big whirlwind right now.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have been so bad, according to the actors, if only they'd received any of the film's $248 million in worldwide profits. Instead, the actors made ends meet by continuing to work odd jobs, moving furniture, waiting tables, while they waited for their checks in the mail. When the $100 million domestic milestone came and went, Artisan merely sent fruit baskets to the stars. Donahue recalled, "That was when it became clear that, wow, we were not going to get anything. We were being cut out of something that we were intimately involved with creating." If the stars said anything about their plight at the time, they got punished for it. Donahue recalled that she made the mistake of being too honest, saying, "I had an interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer where I said something like, 'I'm the poorest famous person in America right now.' Artisan reached out to tell me I can't say that." Williams emotionally admitted that he couldn't even pay for his groceries, saying, "Your wife is in the grocery line and she can't pay because a check bounced. You're in the most successful independent movie of all time, and you can't take care of your loved ones." Donahue also had to deal with misogynist comments directed towards her character. Leonard said, "Heather's portrayal of a fierce and relentless artist who would not stop filming wasn't an acceptable archetype at the time. She was fair game to be hated on, and they were using her real name." Donahue added, "It was relentless, just that feeling of, wow, this is definitely not what I signed up for, and I have no money to protect myself from the onslaught." The trio ultimately decided to sue the studio and reached a paltry $300,000 settlement in 2004. But even that wasn't the end of things. Lionsgate, which had acquired Artisan, announced the 2016 sequel, Blair Witch, which followed Donahue's character's younger brother.
"I think that might be my sister."
They had the intent of making further use of her name and likeness. Only Donahue's insistence that they uphold the terms of the settlement prevented the studio from using her face and last name. Lionsgate's recent announcement that it will be rebooting the series only unearthed fresh wounds for the cast. Once again, they were given no advance warning that the studio would be implicitly relying on their names and faces to promote another take on the original film. Donahue said, "I actually was looking forward to the 25th anniversary. It was feeling very sweet for the first time in the whole history of this thing. And then, boom, comes this announcement. And it's like, This finally prompted them to pen an open letter to Lionsgate and demand that they consult on any future Blair Witch film, as well as the residuals they were owed over the decades. It's unclear what they'll get, if anything. Donahue said, "Is there value there in using our names and identities or not? If there's value, compensate us accordingly. And if there's no value, then just stop using us."